let's talk about this movie, Lady Chatterley's Lover, which is it a remake of the original, Alan? Like,
Yeah.
you
Okay.
saw this movie.
So I've not seen the other iterations of Lady Chatterley's Lover, but I did see this at AFI Fest. The director was there along with I believe it was one of the makeup artists. But so this Lady Chatterley's Lover is based on D.H. Lawrence's book. I probably even got that wrong, but it was a book that was banned long ago for its content. Story is of Lady Chatterley, Lady Constance Chatterley. She is marrying into into uh, into royalty, so to speak, into lorddom, and her husband is about to go off to World War I, so it's kind of a shotgun marriage here. He comes back paralyzed. He's unable to fulfill his manly duties, so to speak, and so her husband gives her permission to have discreet affairs in hopes that she would become pregnant and that they would have an heir. And she finds this idea revolting. She doesn't want to do that, and as he becomes more of this kind of tyrant of a lord over this mining town, she falls in love with the gameskeeper, and they begin this torrid affair. And as her and her husband become more separated, her and the gameskeeper become more connected. And I think basically that being the basic plot, there's a lot of sex in this movie. It doesn't start so explicit at first, but then it gets pretty hot and heavy in the second half of the movie. There's a great deal of nudity. There are well-placed camera angles. And I mention all this because when I was at AFI Fest, the director was there. Her intent with this movie was to tell this story from Lady Chatterley's point of view. It is her taking control of her destiny, of her body, her being the fulfilled female, the fully empowered female, to do with herself what she wants to do with whomever she wants. And she is in full control throughout this whole movie. And that's kind of the idea of this version of it, that this is the fully empowered Lady Chatterley. And so, it's, I mentioned in my review, this is essentially, it's feminist porn. It takes on a very feminist viewpoint, but there's a lot of nudity, a lot of sex going on. There's frolicking in a field naked. So there's boobs and peepees, and and so yeah, I think I certainly had fun with it, but the thing was I'm in the screening. There's this Q&A. I'm in a room full of cinephiles, and after the movie, there's just this overwhelming feeling that this is such an important film. This piece of feminist film that finally brings women to the forefront. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, I just saw softcore porn. And I felt like I was basically the emperor's new clothes. It's like, am I the only one seeing what I just saw? Because this is essentially softcore porn. And if you like that, and I'm sure a lot of us will, you're gonna like Lady Chatterley's Lover.
All right.
So there you go. I mean, you've seen the original. Did you ever get that sense that it's much more on the Skinemax side than it is on the the Shakespearean end of things?
Yeah, 100%. It's a thing where the story is really almost like just the setup and the excuse to have all the nude scenes. That was like one of those like late night Skinemax kind of things.
Yeah, I mean, this one, there is that British drama, and the first act plays very much like a British drama. There, but things change at the point where where Lady Chatterley and the gameskeeper, her words to him was, "I want you to fuck me," and at that point, it was like, all right, game's on, and it just moves in in
But
that softcore porn direction.
but it's funny you mentioned AFI Fest. Like I've always found like movies that would be looked down upon, right? Like trauma films or
Mhm.
teen sex comedies or whatever. Like if you put them in a festival setting, it's like high art. When it's like,
Yeah.
no, the reason these things succeed is because of the nudity. That's why they do well.
Yeah,
So
and it very much felt like that. I mean, I'm sitting in a room feeling like, um, wow, these people are seeing this movie in such a way that almost justifies it almost gives them an excuse to say, "Oh, I saw this really incredible erotic art piece."
right.
Um,